Hey guys, welcome back to the Far From Healed podcast where we chop it up about trauma. Today we're going to dive in straight into some of my trauma so that way, you guys can relate and know that I'm not just out here pretending. But yeah, we all have trauma, so we're not going to sit here and lie about it. So let's go. All three of my parents were functioning alcoholics slash still kind of are. Two out of three of my parents did pass away from cancer. And, by functioning alcoholics, I do mean just day to day ins and outs still got done. Everything was still getting done and they were just still drinking. So I just feel like anybody with alcoholic parents can relate. Some can't, some can. If you can, shout out because that's not an easy life to live. My bio mom, she was in Alcoholics Anonymous all of my life while she was alive. I'm not 100% sure what she did before that, but she definitely was in AA all my life. I mean, I even got them 90 pictures of all of us at the houses with all the ladies and all the friends she made and just at different times of her life. But definitely that mom was the recoverer. She worked real hard to be better. And inevitably brain cancer just won. So no matter how hard you fight, sometimes it's just not hard enough, I guess. But she definitely did try her best. And, my mom and my dad were always driving out to my soccer games and my softball games. And, when you're driving city to city, county to county, state to state, it just made more sense for me to go live with my dad and my stepmom, because I was not in the most stable environment living with my mom at the time, and it just made more sense to go be in a stable home with my little sister and my brother. So that's when I moved in with them, and then it really came down to my time. So then I was driving back and forth, and I was going to my mom's every weekend, and we were driving to different cities and different places, and I don't have the greatest memories with all that either. My funniest memory, I feel like, is I got my finger slammed in my car door and I walked into the gas station to get some ice and just passed out straight on the floor. And then I was notorious for throwing up on long car rides as a kid because I was always in the car. We were always driving, back and forth and going, and I was always in the car on the weekends. So I was notorious for getting car sick. So it's just like all my memories aren't the greatest. And it's just a lot of chaos. It's like when you peel back all the good memories, all the fun stuff, all the pictures, all the videos, it's like, what is it really though? Because it's like I'm traveling all the time. I was in children's therapy. And I would just say that that's not the funnest, right? I mean, I know there's people who can agree with that. I know that people struggle with that. I mean, my family tried to get me an Al-Anon so I can understand how my mom was feeling. But then when you grow up, it's just like you have kind of like a different insight. You just kind of look at things a little differently. Your perspective changes. I mean, I'm grown. I struggle with my own issues. And, I'd have people ask me kind of sometimes about like how I feel about that. And when you're trying to get down to the root cause of why you are who you are, you do kind of have to examine the hard stuff and just kind of rethink your childhood a little bit because what your parents were telling you, those parents that know best and you go where when I say and that kind of stuff. I mean, do you know how you felt as a kid? Do you know how that made you feel? Because I know I don't know how it made me feel when I was a kid, but I know how it makes me feel now. I know that I'm sad about it now. I know that as an adult, I struggle with remembering certain childhood memories and just replaying certain things that aren't happy. And did my parents give me a stable childhood? Yes. Did I have good memories? Yes. But were there still traumatic instances? Yes. I mean, my biological mom passed away when I was 15, and we can only imagine how that kickstarted my adult life. So, if you had to wrap it all up into a nice bow, untie it because we don't live by tied bows around here. Untie that bow because going against the norm is how I live my life. I know that for sure. And that's how you should too sometimes. Like, you just need to truly believe in what you think is right for yourself and how you think you can fix yourself because sometimes that's not the same for everybody else. And it's not fair for them to tell you what's right or what's wrong for you. So, all in all, I think I'm going to do another episode just about how do we feel having parents who struggled with addiction raising our own kids because I know that takes a toll. I know that plays into it. And I know I just can't be the only one who thinks about it or is going through it or wonders. So if you do feel like that, reach out. Reach out to me, reach out to somebody in your life. Just reach out to anybody. Just don't feel alone. Don't be alone. It's just not fun. It's not worth it. Spread joy, laugh and smile with the people you love. Enjoy the holiday season. And if you're still listening, thank you for sticking through the shit show. Love to all my new and OG followers. As always, this is Far From Healed podcast where we chop it up about trauma. Catch y'all next time.